Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining. Sunil here. Can you hear me? Please confirm in the chat box. Thank you. Thank you very much. I hope you are having a wonderful training experience with respect to AWS technology. Thank you very much. Thank you for your super response. Even my team is having a very good response from your end. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your responses. Okay, let's stop the chat and let's focus on the training. Perfect. So I've seen many attendees raising their hands. So this is a plan for our today's session. I hope you already know it. You got the update. Today we are experiencing the concept of load balancer. Okay. That's our plan for our today's session. So before going on, let's have quick interaction. Yes, Krishna Rao. Good morning. How are you doing?
Hello.
Yeah, Krishna Rao. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
Hello.
Can you
Fine,
hear me?
sir. Actually, I want to talk. Hi, sir. Yes. Hello.
We cannot hear you properly. Please repeat your
Hello.
question.
We are creating the web server, sir.
Okay.
Yesterday.
Yes.
When this Linux machine is off, installed in center.
Okay.
We will run in Google Chrome. We enter the DNS address. It will show or not, sir?
When the machine is stopped, it will not show. Okay.
Not so.
Machine should be always running.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Perfect. So let's have quick interaction. I have seen many participants. Let's have a couple of interactions and then move on to the plan for our today's session. So Raghava, good morning. You are allowed to unmute yourself, Raghava. Raghav, PH Raghav.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Raghav.
So I've joined today only, so missed 3 sessions.
Are you in the WhatsApp group?
Yeah, I'm there in the WhatsApp group.
You got the recordings, right?
I didn't get the recording.
Send an email to this particular email address. Our team will respond to you. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Hafiz.
Yeah, good morning, Sunil.
Good morning, Hafiz. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm fine. See, I'm working IBM for past 6 years.
Okay.
One project came for us. One project came this Anthem actually on AWS RDS. Two other means those 2 projects came. One Anthem. So other team took that project. So another project came to Ascendia. So
Okay.
I'm taking care of that project actually.
Okay.
So I don't know basis of the AWS from past 2 days. I know, but I'm logging to working Ascendia on console. I don't know the EC2 and what are the background of the AWS actually. The past 2 days. I came to know what is EC2 and what is AWS. This things is good for me, is helpful for me
Definitely,
actually.
because once the project starts, you will be interacting with the client, and you have to understand how
Yes,
exactly AWS works, isn't it, Hafiz? Especially
yes,
you have to start with migration. But no matter you want to start with anything, but having an exposure towards overall understanding about the behavior of AWS, how AWS helps their clients to manage their infrastructure. This kind of knowledge will make you confident and comfortable working with the client. Okay. So I
I'm
hope.
background from Oracle DB actually. So
Yeah.
AWS and RDS, I'm looking more over on that RDS actually. I mean, I hope you saw that system services in your
Yeah, see, out of
agenda
16
actually.
services, we also have RDS, but you have to take a specialized training on RDS. We will have a touch base on RDS. That's it. Okay. This is not specific to database, isn't it? So it's a generalized training. Okay.
And
But you need to focus more on specific to one service called as RDS. Okay.
can you help me out on that one? How to proceed on that? This one RDS. Any another link and any training again? You
I
are taking.
recommend, no, from our end, we don't have any specialized training on RDS. Okay. Probably you need to search for other providers. Okay.
Yeah, okay. Thank you
Okay.
so much.
Thank you, Hafiz. You're from which location?
I'm from Hyderabad.
Okay, yeah, thank you. One more interaction, Likita Dama.
Hello. Hi, sir.
Good morning, Likita.
Good morning, sir.
Yes.
Uh, Sir, I'm new to for this industry, sir. I'm 2012 passed out actually. I have worked as a lecturer for
Okay.
past 6 or 7 years. Again, I stopped after marriage. Now I'm
Planning to
uh,
get back to IT industry.
yes.
Okay.
Is it possible for me, sir?
Definitely, it is possible. In our previous batch, also one lecturer successfully changed his platform from the college to IT industry. I recommend you to join both the courses. This is a AWS course, and we also start a DevOps course in coming future. So
Okay,
learn
sir.
both those courses and prepare your profile and then resume and then post it in Naukri. Start receiving the calls. If you're perfect with the subject, you will be able to crack the interview and get into the
Okay.
industry.
How can I prepare the resume, sir? The same
I'll
thing I
send.
explain in the
I'll, s-
interview or
at the end of the batch, I'll send you the sample resumes also. Using that, you can create your own resume.
okay, sir.
Okay. Anything more, Likita?
Okay, sir.
Thank you.
Actually, previously I have started the tools at the Selenium and manual testing, automation testing, sir. I
Mhm,
have the knowledge on that also.
mhm.
I just worked 1 year, less than 1 year only. I have worked on that, sir.
Okay. Okay.
More than that, I don't have any experience on that.
Okay. Okay. No problem.
Mm.
Okay. Thank you, Likita.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Ramchandra, good morning. Good morning, Ramchandra
Uh,
Raju.
Good morning, Sunil sir. So
Yeah.
I have an query. Actually, I'm working from past 8 years in as a Windows and VMware admin. So I would like
Okay.
to build my career in cloud.
Okay.
So previously, I don't have any experience, and I'm very much happy that I'm getting proper. I just going through a proper this one.
Thank you. Thank you very
So,
much.
but actually, I have a query. So
Okay.
yesterday, I just built one server and I deleted that one.
Mm-hmm.
And when I saw that one, security groups are not deleted. So when I
Okay.
tried to delete, I didn't get any chance. I didn't get an option to delete that one.
I'll show you how to delete a security group. It's pretty simple. Okay. In the dashboard, we have security group option. I'll show you, Raghava. Okay, Ramchandra. Even though you don't delete the security group, that's not a problem. That is not part of billing. Okay.
Oh, okay. So,
Okay.
and I have one more query.
Yes.
So, because I know hundreds of people are there in this training, so we
1900.
may not get the chance to ask our
Yeah.
question.
Yes. Yes.
So,
Yes. Correct.
how to reach? Is there any possibility that we can send a mail or this one so that we'll get the query answered?
Send me to the WhatsApp message to this number. Okay. Definitely, I'll not pick. Don't call me because
Uh,
90% I'll not pick up the call.
yeah,
So
sure.
send me the WhatsApp message to this number. Okay. So whenever I am free, I'll generally check the messages and then I'll
Sure.
respond. Okay.
Sure, definitely. Thank you.
How do
And
you
one more,
got to
one more,
know
one
about
more.
this
This one.
training?
Yeah. Please.
How do you got to know about this training?
Yeah, my friend gave me this one. Even he is also part of this training.
Okay. He gave you this.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
really helpful for me
Thank
to
you.
understand cloud
especially
technologies and this one.
especially Windows administrations, network administration, VMware, Sandbox. So I hope you know all the clients are moving to cloud, isn't it, Ramchandra? Okay.
Yeah. Even
Either AWS or Azure. So when the migration is happening, we have to upgrade our skills to come out of our comfort zone, Ramchandra. Okay.
yeah, yes. There is
Special.
no much future in traditional technologies.
Yes, and
We have to
we
move.
have to upgrade our skills, especially once we are reaching close to 10 years of experience, Ramchandra.
Yeah.
How should we make ourselves comfortable with respect? How can we make ourselves cutting edge advantage? Our profile should have cutting edge advantage with respect to other profiles which are having close to 4 and 5 years of experience, isn't it?
Yes.
So leveraging our skill sets is one of the most important point. Okay, frequently we have to upgrade, analyze the market, upgrade the skill sets so that we always be on par with the, especially in this competitive world. Okay.
Sure. Actually, I'm not from, a coding background.
Okay.
Am I also eligible for this DevOps course?
Yeah, there's no DevOps. There's no coding in DevOps also. Okay, it's all about
Okay.
coordination with the development team and operations team. So there's no
Okay.
coding in DevOps also.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you very
Thank you,
much.
Ramchandra. Thank you.
Have a
very
great
much.
day.
So let's proceed. So we had enough introduction. So let's move on. So I hope we already know the plan for our today's session, experiencing the load balancer. And then we'll also learn how to, we'll understand what is a load balancer. We'll also learn how to create a load balancer, how to attach the EC2 machines to the load balancer, what exactly the job done by the load balancer will experience practically, and we'll also simulate a failure scenario. What happens if the EC2 machine fails? Okay. Okay. This is our plan for today's session. So let's move on. Let's log into AWS. One important point I want to focus on, I want to specify now, when you're creating a AWS, I have mentioned that when you're creating an AWS account, you have to use debit card or credit card, whichever is, okay, isn't it? Okay. And I also said that the RuPay card will not work. You need to use only MasterCard or Visa card, that's fine. And you have to enable your debit card for international transactions. You have to enable your debit card for the, sometimes few banks, many banks, when they're providing your debit card, the international transactions will be disabled. You speak to the customer care and make sure that you enable, please ask the banker to enable the international transactions on your debit card. Once it is enabled, then you can use that particular debit card. I think few may be already having that issue, so this is just information. We know this is how the instances looks like. So these are the instances which I have created. This is the Windows machine which I have created when I explained about the Windows machine. Yesterday we have created the Linux machine. So these are the instances. So all the instances are stopped. Okay. So let's move on to concept of load balancer. Look at the theory. Look at the theory first. A load balancer will accept the incoming traffic from the client. A load balancer will accept the incoming traffic from the clients and routes the request to the EC2 instances. Load balancer also monitors the health of the registered targets. It also monitors the health, ensures that the traffic is routed only to healthy targets. What do you mean by target? We should understand. When a load balancer detects an unhealthy target is nothing but an EC2 machine. When load balancer detects unhealthy targets, it stops routing the traffic to that particular target and resumes routing the traffic only when the target is detected as healthy again. This is the concept of load balancer. Why should we use load balancers? Load balancers are used to avoid the downtime. Load balancers are used to avoid the downtime. So the main reason why the clients are moving to cloud is that they do not want to experience any downtime. Never. The main reason clients are moving to cloud, we know availability, scalability, pay as you go. Remember, every concept you have to understand only these three terminologies. The features of cloud, the day one which we have discussed, availability, scalability, pay as you go. Availability, at any point of time your application should be available. And these kind of concepts like load balancing, auto scaling will help you to make the application available. Have you experienced any time, as I told you, is there any time Facebook going down? Have you any time seen Twitter going down? Is there any time Amazon Prime down? We always watch movies, right? Have you experienced any time the Amazon Prime down? Have you experienced any time Netflix down? No downtime. They don't want the concept of downtime. Clear? This can be achieved by implementing the concept of load balancers and auto scaling, so to avoid the downtime. Let's understand how exactly load balancer does. Let's try to understand how exactly the load balancer will work. In the last session, what did we discuss? We have learned how to create a web server, isn't it? In the last session, we have learned how to create a web server. A web server is nothing but a program which runs in a particular EC2 machine. It will accept the incoming request. What do you mean by incoming request from the client? If you're opening facebook.com, what do you get the response? Agree? What do you get the response? You get a web page. From where you're getting the web page? You get the web page from the web server. So whenever you access a particular application like facebook.com, the request will go to web server, and on the web server you get the login page of Facebook. So web server will have the web pages. It will provide the pages as per the request. That is about the concept of web server. Now, in this theory, don't worry about the technical jargons. Load balancer will accept the incoming traffic from the client. Who is the client? Let's say if I am opening ICICIbank.com, I am the client. Clients are nothing but the end users. If I'm opening Facebook.com, I am the client. Clients are nothing but the end users who are accessing the application. If I'm opening Amazon Prime, I am the client. Clear? So web server will accept that. So generally in the last session, web server is accepting the request from the client. In response, it is responding to the web pages. The point is, suddenly when the traffic increases, okay, this web server is having a limited hardware. This web server is having a limited hardware. What do you mean limited hardware? It has 1 GB RAM and 1 CPU. Isn't it? A limited hardware. So every EC2 machine can withhold a specific amount of traffic. Suddenly, if the traffic is increasing, when there are more number of users, like at a time, the many users are connecting to the application. So because of the load, the application will go down. Agree? Do you agree or not? Do you agree or not? Isn't it? Because when the traffic increases, because of the heavy traffic increases, the application goes down. Especially, I want experience for this university colleges like JNT University when they release the results on their website. Okay, so everybody tries to connect the same website. So because of that particular load, the balance application will go down. Okay, so how do you avoid the downtime? How do we avoid the downtime? We can avoid the downtime by using the concept of load balancer. Load balancers helps you to distribute the load. Load balancers will help you to distribute the load. Have you experienced? We all know Amazon.com, Flipkart.com, isn't it? Online shopping sites. Sometimes they provide the sales. For example, Great Indian Festival sale or Independence Day sale. They announce a sale. They do a lot of marketing campaign from last 10 days. Okay, starting that they are announcing an Independence Day sale, or they are doing a New Year sale. Okay, so when they do a lot of marketing, so when the sale starts, what happens? There are many number of customers accessing that particular application, especially in the sale time. In the regular time, at a time, let's say assuming that the 5,000 clients are accessing the application at a regular point of time. In case of sale, the traffic may increases by double or triple, or it may increase by 10 times. At that point of time, have you seen any time the application going down? No. So generally, if you take an independent with EC2 machine, if independent web server, it can manage with limited amount of load. But when the load increases, the server goes down. When the server goes down, the users will not get the page. How do you avoid the downtime? We can avoid the downtime. We can avoid the downtime by using the concept of what? Load balancer. There's one more component we'll be creating in today's session. That component is called as a load balancer. Okay. Now, what load balancer will do? What is the load balance? First, load balancer will receive the traffic. If you're opening facebook.com, directly it will not. Yesterday, what happened? The request is directly going to web server, isn't it? We are taking the IP address of the web server. We are directly connecting to web server. Now, the first request will go to load balancer. And load balancer will distribute the traffic to the EC2 machines. So there will be multiple EC2 machines because you want to distribute the load. The complete load should not be accepted by one EC2 machine. So we'll be creating multiple web servers, web server 1, web server 2. Got it? There will be multiple web servers. So first request will not be directed to web server. Request will be first. Load balancer is an additional component we'll be introducing now. This load balancer will issue the request and load balancer will distribute the traffic. Rather than completely dumping the load to one particular EC2 machine, it will distribute the traffic to the web server so that the load will be balanced. Look at the name, load balance. It will distribute the traffic so that the application will not go down. Clear? These web servers which we attach it to load balancers, these web servers are nothing but called as targets. So in the theoretical discussion, whenever you're coming across a concept called target are nothing but the EC2 machines which are attached to the targets are nothing but the EC2 machines which are attached to the load balancer. Clear? So what is the load balancer is having two responsibilities. In the interview, if anybody asks you, what is the job done by the load balancer? Load balancer is having two responsibilities. Responsibility 1, as the name suggests, it will balance the load. So that's how you have to answer in the interview. Load balancer will receive the incoming traffic from the clients. Clients are nothing but nothing special. Users who are, if you are opening facebook.com, you are the client. So load balancer will accept the incoming traffic from the client and distribute the traffic to the registered targets. Okay, so that the complete load will not be on one particular target, the load will be distributed, so there will be no downtime. That is the first responsibility. Okay, now look at the theory again. Load balancer will accept the incoming traffic from the clients and routes the request to EC2 instances. So these are all the EC2 instances. The load balancer also monitors the health. The second responsibility. One responsibility is to distribute the load. There is one more responsibility of the load balancer. One more responsibility of the load balancer is to monitor the health of the registered targets. Registered targets are nothing but the EC2 machines. It should monitor the health. Load balancer should check, hello EC2 machine, are you working fine? Are you perfectly working fine or not? Hello second EC2 machine, are you working fine or not? It should monitor the health. That's also the responsibility of the load balancer. It ensures that the traffic is routed to healthy targets because of any hardware failure, whatever it is, in case if that particular instance is down. It could be hardware failure, it could be operating system failure, whatever it is. There can be chances that the EC2 machine goes down. In such case, the load balancer will understand that, okay, this EC2 machine is not working. So what should do? The traffic should be routed to the second EC2 machine. Finally, users should not find any downtime. Finally, what we want is users should not experience any downtime. Now look at this. Ensures that it routes traffic to only healthy targets. When a load balancer detects that particular unhealthy target, let's say this is unhealthy target, it stops routing the traffic to that particular target and resumes it will again continue routing the traffic when it is detects as healthy again. When let's say once we troubleshoot, be assuming that this particular issue is troubleshooted. Now if it is this healthy again, now it will distribute the traffic to the, as both are healthy, again it will distribute the traffic to the all the EC2 machines. Okay, so there are two important responsibilities of the load balancer. I have seen participants explaining about only one task, that is load balancer will distribute the health, distribute the traffic. That's one duty. There's one more duty of the load balancer is to monitor the health. Distributing the traffic is one functionality of load balancer. Monitoring the health of the targets are nothing but the second. Both are equally important. Monitoring the health of the targets is also very, very important. That's also a job done by the load balancer. I hope you have understood the concept of load balancer. Okay, so let's jump into the practicals. Let's jump into the practicals of load balancer. Before jumping into practicals of load balancer, let's have a couple of questions. Okay, that's few questions. Nandakishore.
Yeah, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Yeah, yeah, sir. Actually, my question is jobs available for freshers as AWS
Yes.
on AWS? Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, sir. Sometimes, I mean, if we have more load, I mean, if and during you said that Amazon sales during that, yeah, several people will use the website. No, there may be lot of traffic. I mean, thousands of people will use that. At that time, it is. I mean, one instance will be is enough to the that to manage that website.
One instance is not enough. That's the reason you can see we are creating multiple instances. Okay.
Okay, okay.
And then load
And
balancer is distributing.
okay, okay. And we all are using load balance. We are
Distributing the
redirecting the okay, distributing the okay. That's also thank you. And very helpful for me, sir, this course.
Thank you very much. Jayant Nerinur. Good morning, Jayant.
Good morning, Sunil.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have one question regarding the yesterday's session.
Tell me.
So, see, the step 3, we are creating instances, right? So,
Sorry, in step?
Step 3, while creating instances in step 3, we are giving number of instances we need to create.
We are providing one instance,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
So, what if I give 10 instances? So, am I going to download 10 key pairs?
No, only one keeper will be downloaded. Using that keeper, you can connect to all the 10 machines. Okay.
Okay, so it will be like one password and one user for all.
Yes, for all. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Okay. Are you practicing?
Yeah. So that's why I get that out.
So did you create a AWS account? Did you start practicing, Jayant?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you. Uma Maheshwar, good morning. Any question, please?
Yeah. Hi, Sunil. Good morning. I have a question like right now we are using Mumbai location, right? In that
Mumbai.
area, how many instances we can create?
No
like
limitation.
more than no limitation, right?
As per document, AWS
While
says that there is no limitation with respect to the infrastructure availability. Okay.
But some in North Virginia, we have more than 3. If we use more than 3 means it will generate the bill, right?
No, it's nothing like that. It when you will get the bill only when you exceed the limitations. Okay. What are the limitations of AWS free tier account? We'll be seeing it soon. Okay.
Okay. Okay, sir. Thank you.
Perfect. So let's go ahead. So what's the process? So to experience this concept of load balancers, look at the step-by-step approach. First, what we'll do, obviously, first we'll create the first EC2 mission. Okay. We'll create an EC2 mission, first mission. Okay. Next, what we'll do, we'll be creating second EC2 mission. That is second step. Next, what we'll be creating third component. Third step, what we'll do, we'll create load balancers. And what we'll do in the load balancer, we'll attach the first EC2 machine as well as second EC2 machines, both the EC2 machines. So we will be attaching to load balancer. That's it. And we'll experience how exactly load balancer is distributing the traffic or not. That's our step. So let's proceed creating web servers. Creating web servers, we already have seen it in the last session. Creating a web server is nothing special. We already have discussed creating a web server in our previous session. Am I right? Clear? So I'll be a little fast because we already have learned how to create individual web servers. We already do it. So what port needs to be open for this particular EC2 machines? SSH port I'll open because in case if I want to communicate to the PuTTY and I want to connect it, you can use SSH port, and I also use HTTP port so that the browser can communicate. So these are the two ports which I will open for the web server, and dealing with ports can be possible using what concept? Security group. Very, very important. How can you deal with ports? You can deal with the ports by using the concept of security group. So here also we'll be creating same ports. We'll be opening SSH port and HTTP port. So without any delay, let's proceed and create the web servers first. This is nothing special. Creating web server will complete it fast, and because so that we can focus on the new component, that is load balancer creation. So let's complete start one. We're creating web server. So step one, look at this. Creating a Linux machine, converting the PEM file to PPK file. Next, I will be running these commands. I'll be creating one page. The name of the page, I'm writing it as Google One, and the service, starting the service and config done. So this is a Step 1 and accessing the web server using the public IP. This is first EC2 machine creation, first web server creation. So let's do it. Launch instances. Step 1, Amazon machine. I want to go with Amazon Linux. How many number of instances? T2 micro, which comes with 1 GB RAM and 1 CPU. Number of instances, only one instance. Yes. Comes with 8 GB of storage. Fine. I don't want a security group. Let's name a security group. It's important. I want to name the security group Linux SG with today's date 09. This is the name of the security group which I want to create. Take a note of it. This is the name. Take a note of it. The name of the security group. For our reference, I'm writing it here. So why I'm referring to the security group, we'll discuss later. So there's the name of the security group, Linux SG09. What ports I'm opening? SSH port I'm opening. I also want to open one more port for browser communication. Anybody in the world? Fine. So this is the name of the security group, review and launch. Review the details, click on launch. When you click on launch, it will ask you to download a key pair. Create a new key pair. Let's name it as Linux key pair. TG1. Target 1. Target 1 is nothing but the EC2 machine 1. Download the key pair. I hope you are downloading it in my desktop. I hope you remember is Sunil AWS is the folder, and here we are downloading the key pair related to first EC2 machine. Launch instances. Okay, this is the web server 1. Okay, we have to connect to this machine. So let's first wait for the machine to get into running state. When you create a EC2 machine, it will be in pending state. You know that, and less than a minute, it will be converted into running state. Yes, now it is in running state. I want to connect to that particular machine. What is the terminal? What is the terminal? The terminal what you use is PuTTY. Okay, but more interesting point, I hope you know it. We have discussed this in the last session. This is the key PEM file, but PuTTY needs what file? PuTTY needs PPK file. So let's convert the PEM file to PPK file. So for that, we use a terminal called generator called PuTTY key generator. What the PuTTY key generator will do, it will accept the PEM file, which is given by AWS, and it will provide us the PPK file. So very simple, load the PEM file. Go here, all files, so that you will find all the files. So this is the PEM file. I have uploaded the PEM file, save private key. Yes. And I want to provide the same file name. It can be same file name, it can be different file name, that's okay. But the file extension should not be PEM. It should be Linux kp tg1.ppk file. Yes, done. Converted the PEM file to PPK file. As conversion of PEM file to PPK file is done, now I want to connect to this particular Linux machine. So select the machine whichever you want. We have an option to connect here. When you click on connect button, what do you get? You get an SSH command. Okay, don't pick up the complete SSH command. The user at the red DNS. Pick up this particular text. This should be the host name. So these are the details we need to enter in the PuTTY. So open PuTTY application. Yes. This is the host name. Okay. And PuTTY needs what file? PPK file. So under SSH, under authentication, this is the PPK file. Accept. You are successfully connected. Let's increase the font size for better visibility. What is the proof that you are getting connected? You are getting an IP address 172.168.4.2. This is the web server 1. Look at the IP address 172.31.4.2. That's a proof that you are connected to the Linux machine. This is an empty Linux. You need to install a web package. The commands are ready with us. I don't need to explain these commands. We already have learned these commands in the previous session. So first point, switch to root user. Whenever you want to install, you have to update the repository. The name of the repository is yum repository. Yes, next I want to install the HTTPD package. This is the command to install HTTPD. HTTPD is an example of a web server. Go to HTML directory. Create a index.html file which has a content called mygoogle-1. And then you can see the file has been created, index.html, and start the HTTPD service. Started, and configuration HTTPD on, which will start automatically when you create an EC2 machine. Now, as I have installed web package, now your EC2 machine is called as a web server. Can we test this? Can we test this? How can we test this? Pretty simple. Take the public IP of the EC2 machine. Take the public IP of the EC2 machine and try it from the browser. Friends, do we get it? Yes or no? Are you getting my Google 1? Yes, my Google-1. That's the same content. My Google-1 is a content we have placed it in desktop. So first EC2 machine is perfectly working. The first web server is perfectly working. Step 2, what I need to do? I need to create a second web server. I create a second web server in a different approach. There's a small change in the way I create a second web server. First web server is successfully created. First web server is successfully tested. I have taken public IP and I'm able to communicate to my EC2 machine. It's perfectly responding. The first EC2 machine is done. First web server is created. I want to create a second web server. Let's proceed. One more Linux machine. Okay, look at this. Second web server, I need to create one more Linux machine. So launch instances. As usual, operating system Amazon Linux. Comes with 1 GB RAM and 1 CPU. Only one instance. That is in step 3. Number of instances, we always go with 1. But here, scroll down in step 3 under configuring instances, scroll down. Under advanced details, under user data, here, look at what I write. Switch to root user, update the yum repository, install the HTTPD, and go to HTML directory, create index.html, start the service, and configuring so that the service gets started automatically. All these commands, which I run it in PuTTY, these commands which are generally after creating the EC2 machine, I will be connecting to that EC2 machine. These commands, I run it in the PuTTY. Instead of running it in the PuTTY, I copy paste these commands under the user data. What does that mean? That means when the EC2 machine gets started, these are called as bootstrap scripts. These commands are called as, what are bootstrap scripts? Bootstrap scripts are nothing but set of commands that gets executed automatically. Bootstrap scripts are nothing but set of commands that gets executed automatically when the machine starts for the first time. Okay, so I don't want to connect to that particular machine using PuTTY, and then I don't want to run that automatically. I'm writing that scripts in the user data. These are called as bootstrap scripts. So automatically the machine gets created. When the machine is into running state, automatically within few seconds the commands gets executed and your web server will become live. Okay, so these are called as bootstrap scripts. How does it understand that it should run it on script? These are the command. It could understand that it's a normal text. It's a normal text. It's not a normal text. It's a command. So these are bash commands. So you have to mention that these are the scripts. These are the commands. So you have to mention this special line, which helps you to understand that these are the scripts. Perfect. That's it. So This is a different way. So we have introduced about the concept of bootstrap scripts. Next. Next. Storage comes with 8 GB. Tags, I don't want to provide a tag. Security group. I don't want to create a new security group. I can use an existing security group. When you're creating a first EC2 machine, we already have used a security group concept. The name of the security group is Linux SG20 line. This security group is having two ports. One is SSH port, the other one is HTTP port. You have the security group here already created for the first EC2 machine. You can reuse the security group rather than creating a new security group. So I select an existing security group. So here we have an option of selecting an existing security group. You'll get the list of all the security groups. So my security group is, look at the name. That's the reason it's good. It's a good practice to provide a name to a security group. My security group name is Linux SG09. Agree? Yes. That's it. Okay, so I have selected the security group, review and launch. Click on launch. Create a new key pair. Linux key pair. This is TG2 second instance. Download the key pair for the second EC2 machine. Launch instances. This will take a little more time because scripts should get executed, the bootstrap scripts. So I'm naming it as web server 2. Okay, so this will be into running state. Okay, so where are we now? So we have completed the first web server creation. We also tested perfectly individually the first web server is running. We have just now completed the second web server and we have created a different approach. We have used the bootstrap scripts rather than, so I don't need to connect to PuTTY and run the commands. It's already mentioned in the script that gets executed. That's the second EC2 mission. Now let's move on to third part, creating load balancer. The most important, creating load balancer. How can we create a load balancer? Okay, I want to create a load balancer with the name. Okay, let's proceed. How to create a load balancer? Web servers are already created. The most important point, how to create a load balancer. In the EC2 dashboard, scroll down. Here we have an option of load balancer. As of now, you do not have any load balancers. There are no load balancers, so I'm creating a new load balancer. Create load balancer. The different types of load balancers: application load balancer, network load balancer, gateway load balancers. For web servers, we go for classic load balancers. Go for classic load balancers. What is the name of the load balancer which you're planning to create? MyLB is the name of the load balancer which I want to create. That's it. Next. Select an existing security group. Load balancer should accept the traffic. We need to open the ports at the load balancer. Do you remember we have created a security group? Do you remember we have created a security group, Linux SG09? This is a security group, isn't it? So I'm selecting this. Okay, so the same security group, reusing it. The security group I have used for second EC2 machine, same security group I'm also using for load balancer. That means so that's always good. Next. Configure security settings is very important. Yes. Configuring health check. I mentioned, I repeat again, the responsibility of the load balancer is to distribute the traffic. That's one task. Monitoring the health is also an important task. So this is very important. You have to provide the configuration details. Okay. How does, important from the interview point of view, how does load balancer will monitor the health? How does load balancer know that the EC2 machine is correctly running or not? Okay. So load balancer will send a ping request to the EC2 machine. It sends a ping request. You know, in networking, if you want to check one machine is connected to other machine or not, we send a ping request. So load balancer will send a ping request to the EC2 machine, okay, to check whether it is working perfectly or not, responding perfectly or not. Okay. Response timeout. then the EC2 machine should respond to that ping request saying that, hello, load balancer, I'm working fine. The EC2 should respond. So EC2 machine should respond to the load balancer. When load balancer sends a ping request to the web server, we should get load balancer should receive the reply from it. Okay. Response timeout. How many seconds the load balancer should wait to get the response, to get the reply? I want my load balancer to wait for just 2 seconds. Within 2 seconds, we should get the reply from the EC2 machine. Response timeout is nothing but the waiting time. Your load balancer will send a ping request and waits for 2 seconds. Within 2 seconds, you should get the reply from the EC2 machine. So response timeout is nothing but the waiting time to get the reply. Interval. What do you mean by interval? I said that load balancer should monitor the health of the targets. As I have mentioned, the load balancer should monitor the health of the targets. How frequently it should monitor? Once in every 1 hour it should monitor. Once in every 30 minutes it should monitor. Is it monitoring? Should we monitor every 5 minutes? What is the frequency? Interval I specify it as 5 seconds. My load balancer will regularly monitor the EC2 machines every 5 seconds. First it will send every frequency. Every 5 seconds it will send a ping request. Every 5 seconds it will send the ping request. Every 5 seconds it should monitor the health. So that's the interval period. Okay. So load balancer will send a ping request. Okay. And waits for how many minutes? How many seconds? Waits for how many seconds? 2 seconds. Timeout 2 seconds. Load balancer will send a ping request. It will wait for 2 seconds. Assuming there is no reply. Assuming there is no reply from the EC2 machine, load balancer should attempt one more time. Let's attempt one more time. Okay, that is called unhealthy threshold. Number of attempts it should make to declare it as unhealthy. Second time it will reply again. Second time it will send a ping request. If second time is also not responding, then it is declared as unhealthy. Then this particular EC2 machine will be declared as unhealthy. Okay, number of attempts the load balancer should perform before declaring it as unhealthy. I'm writing it as 2. Okay. Let's say the issue has been troubleshooted. It could be hardware problem or operating system failure problem. So assuming it has been issue is troubleshooted. When the issue is troubleshooted, again every 5 seconds load balancer will send the ping request. Let's say if the error is rectified, now web server will respond. Hello load balancer, it will respond. Once it starts responding, again load balancer should declare it as after the error is rectified. Load balancer should declare it as healthy again, isn't it? Number of attempts, whenever you're getting a response for the first time, immediately should we declare it as healthy? No, it's better to attempt one more time. Second time also, if you are getting a response, okay, now it started responding, so load balancer will declare it as healthy. So healthy threshold also I mentioned it as 2. Unhealthy threshold, healthy threshold. Number of attempts the load balancer should perform before declaring it as unhealthy. 2. Number of attempts it should perform to declare it as healthy. 2. Response time, how many seconds the load balancer should wait to get the reply from the EC2 machine? 2 seconds. Interval, my load balancer should monitor the health of the EC2 machines every 5 seconds. This is the configuration details. You have to explain it in the interview. This is very important. Okay, next. Add EC2 instances. How many EC2 machines we have created? 2 EC2 machines. We will be adding the EC2 machines to the load balancer. EC2 machine 1, EC2 machine 2. Got it? Both the EC2 machines. Web server name of the EC2 machines are nothing but, can you see web server 1 and web server 2. So these are the 2 machines which I am adding. Next, tags, you don't need to mention it. Tags optional. Review the details. Review the configuration details, the most important point, and click on create. Successfully created load balancer. What is the name of the load balancer? MyLB is the name of the load balancer. Click on close. You can see the load balancer here. Okay, so you have successfully created a load balancer. Clear? Perfect. Step 1, created first EC2 machine. Step 2, created second EC2 machine. Step 3, we have created load balancer and we have attached the EC2 machines to the load balancer. Okay. Let's individually test it. First EC2 machine we have independently tested by taking the IP address. Let's test the second EC2 machine independently. Take the IP address of the second EC2 machine. The dashboard, go to instances. This is the second EC2 machine. Let's verify whether the second EC2 machine is perfectly running or not. Take the public IP. My Google 2. Wantedly content is different. The first EC2 machine is my Google 1. The second EC2 machine is my Google 2. Okay. Look at this. The content in the second EC2 machine is my Google -2. The content in the first EC2 machine is my Google -1. Just wantedly have mentioned different content so that I can experience it. Perfect. So both the EC2 machines are perfectly independently tested by picking up the IP address. Next. And we also have created load balancer. We have attached the load balancer to the, we have attached the EC2 machines to the load balancer. Okay. Access the load balancer using the DNS name. When you create a load balancer, where is our load balancer? How can we see the load balancer? These are the EC2 machines. Scroll down. Whenever you create a load balancer will have its own DNS name. Can you see a DNS name? Copy paste the DNS, copy the DNS name. Isn't it? This is the DNS name. I have copied the DNS name and then access the load balancer from the browser. Now, load balancer will receive the request. Yes, I am accessing the load balancer. Now, what load balancer will do? It will forward the request to the targets. How many targets we are having? 2 targets. Now, tell me what is the response you're getting? What is the response? Please tell me. My Google 2. That means load balancer has distributed to, diverted the traffic to second web server. When I click on refresh again, observe what's happening. My Google 1. Again, what is happening? My Google 2. Are you experiencing what the load balancer is doing? First request is going to 1. Second request is when I click on refresh. What's happening? The request is going, distributing. Are you understanding the practicals of load balancer? Please, I am sending the load balancer DNS name. 1 minute. There is a chat box. I am sending the load balancer DNS name in the chat box. Friends, I am sending the load balancer DNS name. I have just sent you the load balancer DNS name in the chat box. Pick up the load balancer DNS name from the chat box, from your personal browsers, from your personal laptop, from wherever you are in the world. Pick up that load balancer DNS name and try to access from your laptop. Are you getting the response of the load balancer? Please respond in the chat box. Are you excited to experience the practicals of distributing the traffic at live? Sometimes you should get Google, my Google -1. Sometimes you should get my Google 2. That means you're practically experiencing the distribution done by the load balancer. What else? Perfect. Thank you. Thank you very much. You are now experiencing the concept of behavior of the load balancer. If you are happy, please type yes in the chat box. Thank you very much for your, I'm happy for your responses. Okay, let's stop the chat. Let's stop the chat. Perfect. So you can see when you click on refresh, you are getting my Google 1. When you click on refresh again, when you're getting my Google 2, that perfectly you're experiencing the load balancer. Next, what's our agenda for today's session? What is our agenda to understanding the load balancer? Load balancer should distribute the traffic. Load balancer should also monitor the health. We have learned how to create a load balancer, how to attach the EC2 machines to the load balancer. We have already experienced the concept of load balancers. Coming to simulate a failure scenario, healthy and unhealthy targets. I'll show you now. Look at this. Let's go back to the load balancer. This is the load balancer which I have created. Am I right? This is the load balancer which you have just now created, isn't it? How many targets are attached to the load balancers? This load balancer. How many targets are attached to the load balancer? Tell me. There are 2 targets. Yes, you are right. There are 2 targets which are attached to the load balancer. Where can we see the list of all the targets? In the instances tab. Go to instances tab. You can see these are the 2 instances which are attached to the load balancer. You can see number of instances which are attached to the load balancer. You can see 2 instances. Both are instances are in service. In service is nothing but perfectly working. Both the EC2 machines are in service. That means it's perfectly working. Okay. Now, if one server is down, there are 2 servers now, web server 1, web server 2. If one server is down, the traffic should route it to second server. We can replicate it. So whatever we're doing, wantedly I'm stopping the EC2 machine. The 2 EC2 machines, right? Web server 1, web server 2. So look at this, what I'm doing. I'm selecting the first web server and I am stopping the machine. Are you sure you want to stop it? Yes. Let's wait for the machine to get started. It just takes 1 minute. Let's wait for the machine to get stopped. It's not yet completely stopped. Click on refresh. Now, as this machine is in stopping state, okay. Now I pick up again the same load balancer DNS name. Okay, we already have it in the browser. Now I click on refresh. How I click on refresh? Are you getting my Google One? Tell me. Are you getting my Google One? Always you're getting my Google 2 only. Second, you already have the load balancer DNS name with you. Are you getting my Google One? No, we are not getting my Google One. So this load balancer has detected as unhealthy. It's not replying, responding. EC2 machine is not, first web server is not responding. As first EC2 machine is not responding, but the user should not get any downtime of the application. User should access the application. So what happens? The request is routed to other EC2 machines, other available EC2 machines. Are you understanding? Okay. And load balancer also detects at every 5 seconds, right? It will send the every 5 seconds it will send the ping request. It will not get the response. After 5 seconds it will attempt one more time. Second time also it will not get the response. When load balancer will declare it as, load balancer should declare it as what? Unhealthy. So you can see how, where exactly it is declared. Look at the load balancer. Can you see out of service? It's unhealthy. Previously both are in service, out of service. Instance is in stopped state. You got the information also. Okay. So it's out of service. It is unhealthy. So it is declared that as unhealthy. Got it? Clear about this? So we can see which machines are responding, which machines are not responding here in the instances dashboard, whether it is stopped or whatever it is. Sometimes the index.html file may not be available, whatever it could be. Problem could be operating system failure. Sometimes there may be hardware failures. Reason could be anything. If it is not replying, the load balancer will declare it as unhealthy and distributes the traffic to only the healthy machines. When you start the machine again, okay. I hope you have experiencing the concept of load balancer. Let's have quick questionnaire round. Shrikant Masna, good morning.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Shrikant. How are you doing?
I'm fine, sir. How are you?
Doing well. What's your weekend plan?
Nothing, sir, to learn AWS.
Wow. Okay, so how is your learning experience? You know AWS before, or is the first time you're learning AWS?
No, sir, first time I'm learning.
Okay, you're there from day one?
Yes, I am there for day one. First time I'm learning, and I'm actually background of networking actually.
Oh, wow. Okay, you can
So
easily. Enjoy.
sir. Yes, sir. I'm enjoying, sir. So, lot of doubts. Actually, I was just waiting for my turn, but I don't know. So
Okay,
today I
okay.
got it.
Okay. How many years of experience, by the way?
So I'm having 10 years of experience.
Wow, what a wonderful experience. Okay, yes, your question, please.
So actually, I followed everything, whatever you told, like, I mean, from the day one. So created the account and the
Perfect.
machines also. So what I experienced, sir, actually, IP address is getting changed, sir, every time whenever you
Yes.
That is right, sir.
Srikanth, you know already, generally who is responsible providing IP address? Internet service providers.
Correct, sir. Yeah.
And that is always dynamic. Okay, these are not static IP. So these are dynamic. They are subjected to change. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay. And today's session, sir, only one doubt. I understood everything clearly.
Okay.
And thank you, sir, for the, I mean, it was very clear experience.
You are from which location?
Sir, I'm from Hyderabad
okay,
city.
Okay.
So,
how do you got to know about this training?
Sir, actually, this I got to know from the Telegram application, sir. So I was just searching, so I got from there. And from my friend also had given me this.
Both the sources.
Both sources.
Okay, yes, tell me.
Sir, what about if load balancer goes down? Like, I mean, is there any chances load balancer goes down? Because there will be a lot of
AWS promises that load balancer does not go down.
Oh, okay.
That's the promise of AWS. So there's no concept of AWS load balancer going down. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Srikanth. Thank you very much. So as we have started EC2 machine back, okay, now it should declare it as healthy. Am I right? Both are in service. Are you understanding? Now it's back. Access the load balancer. Now you should get my Google One also. It started receiving the request. Okay. Are you understanding? Now you're getting my Google One. So now you're getting my Google 2. You're getting again my Google One. Okay. So it started responding. So perfect. So I hope you have enjoyed the concept of load balancer today. That's it. Okay. And the deletion process is also very important. So please, very important. Deletion process is also important. Both are out of service. So now load balancer is perfectly responding. To avoid the bill, okay, because it's a free account, AWS provides free account, don't misuse it. We should use it properly. How to deletion process is also important. Remove the instances. Removing the instances is nothing but remove out instances. If you don't want these instances permanently, stopping and starting, that's fine. Whenever you want to start, you can start it and stop. If you don't want the instances permanently, there's an option called terminate. Okay, so day by day you learn more and more concepts. So terminating is nothing but removing the instances permanently. Less than a minute, it will be terminated. Okay, and then after 3 hours, it will be disappearing from your dashboard. Immediately, it will not disappear. Yeah, probably within 2 hours or 3 hours, in this particular these two issues will be disappearing from the dashboard. See, terminated. The status will be terminated. Terminated is nothing but permanent removing. Removing is also very important. Let's wait for the machines to get terminated. See, both are terminated. After terminating, next step, what you need to do? Removing is nothing but terminating both the instances, and you need to delete the load balancer. This is the load balancer. There's an option called actions, and there's an option to delete the load balancer. Are you sure you want to delete the load balancer? Yes, I have deleted. Right now, there are no load balancers. Perfect. We have experienced the concept of load balancer, and we are met our agenda for today's session. Thank you. Om Saho, good morning.
Very good morning, sir. Couple of things I'll talk. Basically, I'm from Hyderabad and I'm following your class from day one. And thank you so much for this opportunity, sir.
Thank you very much.
Not many questions for you. Like from day one, I'm following and I'm
Super.
doing. And the one which
Now, one point I want to continue. I wanted to point out, Sahu. You may have some questions, but we should be in a position to troubleshoot and get the answers by ourselves, isn't it?
yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
Stop and
Well,
terminate. You already explained, sir.
slowly, your understanding with respect to AWS grows by day. Okay.
Yeah, basically, I'm from BI side, sir. Like not from the
Okay.
cloud related, but yeah.
Which tool? Is it Power BI?
MicroStrategy, Tableau. Yeah, Power BI I'm learning, sir, but MicroStrategy and Tableau.
Oh, MicroStrategy and Tableau. Tableau is booming, I think so, right?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Okay, yes.
So this is very, very helpful, sir. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Any specific reason why are you planning to learn AWS? Because you are from Microsoft.
Yes, sir. Like most of the, even including our organization is planning to move to Azure, but I know like concept wise, whether it's a GCP or AWS, it remains same. The name.
Perfect, Sahu. It's something like, if you learn AWS, okay, the terminology, user interface changes. The concepts remains the same. Load balancer is there in Azure, okay. EC2 machines are there in Azure. Terminology changes, okay, Sahu?
Yes.
Learn one AWS, learn one cloud platform. Easily you can learn the second cloud platform by yourself without any dependency.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Any more questions?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So, sir, I tried like everything I have done, whatever you have shown so far, but my PuTTY session gets terminated, and I was trying export TM out equal to 0, but that is not working. And then in setting, I tried to change 0 to 240, which I saw somewhere in Google, but yeah, I need to test it today.
Change the internet service provider, try to connect from hotspot, okay? Using your laptop and try to do it, you'll get it.
Sure, sir. In the last query, sir, when we were using Sabank, right? So we have given sudo till chk config http on. So the last one I did not understand, sir, what exactly we are doing.
1 minute.
httpd on, yeah. Yes, here the last.
You're talking about this one.
Yeah. After servicing the start, what are we doing here?
Okay. Can you tell me what this statement will do? Service HTTPD start.
This will start our
web server.
Yeah.
HTTPD gets started. Okay.
Yes.
This is the configuration command. When you do it once, whenever you restart the EC2 machine, automatically the service should start.
Automatically.
With this command will help you to start the HTTPD service automatically whenever you restart the machine.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir. One last question, sir. Today we created the second instance. So there, can we use, or I think we have used, but since I was trying, sorry, practically same time, just wanted to double check, like, can we use the security group and key pair from the instance one, or both has to be created from like?
You can, in our example, what we have done, Zaho, we have reused the security group, isn't it?
Yeah. How about the key pair, sir? I think it was created. Can we use the previous
same key pair? Yeah, you can use the same. Instead of creating a new key pair, there's an option to choose an existing key pair, isn't it? The key pair which you have created for machine one, you can use the same key pair, and that gets updated. The file gets updated, and you can use the same key pair for connecting to both the machines. Okay.
Thank you so much, sir. Finally, I got my chance today, sir, to talk to you. I can understand thousands
not
of
only
people.
Not only to you, I just want to inform to all the other participants which are on branch, because of the number of heavy crowd. Definitely all of us will not get a chance to talk, but eventually your questions will be automatically discussed as part of our training. Okay. In case if it is not clear, we should be in a position to know the answers for the doubts which we have. Okay. Thank you, Saho. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much, sir. Feeling privileged.
Thank you very much.
Sorry to interrupt.
Yes. May I know who is this? Ramchandra. Yeah, Ramchandra.
Yeah, actually, I just want to know one thing, like the health check between instances and load balancer through HTTP port, right?
Yes, HTTP. Through HTTP port. Ping request. Yeah.
Yeah, port through HTTP.
Yes, you are right.
Not
because
clusters, I mean SQL or
no.
It would be a ping request.
Ping request. You're right.
Thank you.
Likita?
Yes.
Okay. Rahul Jagtap.
Yeah. Hi, sir.
Hello,
Uh,
Rahul.
yeah, actually I'm from Pune. I'm working as an Oracle DBA. Little, new to the AWS technology. So as you mentioned in the first session, like the combination of AWS and DevOps would be, there would be greater chance for the
Yes,
job switching
you're
and all.
right. Yeah.
So my doubt is like currently I'm as an Oracle DBA. So a combination of Oracle DBA plus AWS. Is there a kind of profile or is there a kind of scope for this?
The first point, Rahul, are you planning to shift your technology from DBA to some other technology, or do you want to continue in your own stream?
Both can be. I'll check how
Okay.
the scope of the
Okay.
market. And
First of all, learning AWS will help you, no matter whether you are from the Tableau, you are from the ETL, you are from the BI, or you are from the DBA, you are from the network administrator, system administrators. Eventually, everybody should know this cloud platform. They will be happening to communicate to that particular cloud platform. That's point one. So this is not at all. This is always good.
Okay.
Learning DevOps is optional. If you want to switch your technology to not you want to switch completely altogether, then learn DevOps. Okay? Let's say you don't want to stitch, you want to upgrade yourself in your own stream, then you probably we have some other courses like Exadata or some whatever it is, isn't it? Apps DBA, whatever. So you upgrade in your own stream. Okay, it's up to you. Okay, okay, Rahul. If you're planning to switch, then go for DevOps also.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
Sir, I'm Likita.
Yeah, Likita, tell me.
Sir, you told me like the day one class for creating AWS, we want to that card, no, sir. Is it chargeable?
2 rupees is charged. That's it.
Every day. Whenever we are using, 2 rupees is charged.
Not whenever you are using, just to verify whether the card is correct or not. Okay, that's it. And then you will not get the bill only when you properly terminate the instances whenever you're creating. Okay. And one more important point in continuation to the Likita's discussion, stopped instances are also charged. Stopped instances are also charged. Generally, what we think that once the machine is stopped, we are not getting billed. No, it's also charged. Better to terminate. I'm not terminating because I'll be using these instances in day-to-day examples for DevOps. Okay, so your case, once you're done practicing, like how I terminate it happily, so that you will not get the bill. I'll also show you how can we check the bill, how can we verify whether the bill is received or not. Okay. Ravi Verma. Hi Ravi, good morning.
Hello, Sunil.
Hi Ravi, how are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. I have a few doubts in load balancer.
Yeah.
Now we are using two targets, but whenever the user is having some session data, how load balancer is going to manage? Suppose user one is having his session data in web server one, and if he's trying to connect once again,
you have to wait for session management services, Ravi. Okay. Okay. Your doubt will be clear.
Okay, and one more doubt, there are 4 types, right? Whenever you are showing load balancers.
Web servers are specific to classic load balancer, which is the type which we have created, are specific to web servers.
Okay.
If you want to handle balancing at web logic or WebSphere, then we go for application load balancer. Okay, so it depends upon the type of web servers we are using. For web servers, we go for classic load balancers.
Okay, are we going to discuss types in next classes or?
No. Next topic is continuation of load balancer. We'll be discussing about the concept of auto scaling. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, Ravi. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Last question before ending the session. Matthew, good morning. Ayuk. Matthew, can you hear me? Please respond. You are allowed to unmute and talk. By default, you will be on mute. Anil Umate. Good morning.
Pune. First of all, thank you for this wonderful opportunity to learn from you. So I have a couple of questions here.
Yes,
Uh,
please.
Whenever I was practicing it, it came to my mind. In case of I'm creating multiple machines, consider 10. Is it mandatory to keep all the key pairs with us, or is there any
Actually, your
way
voice is
to,
not clear. Please repeat your question.
if EC2 machines,
Mhm.
so is it required to download tens of key pairs and manage these alls?
Sorry, I am unable to hear your voice. Please repeat one more time.
I'm asking if I'm creating tens of machines,
Okay.
so is it
Again, I
to
lost you.
manage all key pairs for these 10
No,
machines?
as I said, as I just
Okay.
discussed, multiple machines can have same key pair. Okay. If you're creating 10 machines, then we don't need 10 PEM files. You can select an existing PEM file also. Why don't you experience it? Okay. When you're creating an EC2 machine, rather than creating a new EC2 machine, go for selecting existing key pair. It works. Okay. Okay,
Okay,
Anil.
okay.
Okay.
And one more important thing, when we create a EC2 machine, it was showing it's showing VPC ID. So does it mean we will charge for the VPC as well?
No, it will not charge for VPC. That's the default VPC that is free. We'll discuss about that later in the coming VPC services. Okay. Okay. And
Okay, Sumit, thank
one
you.
more point. Today is Friday. No session on Saturday, Sunday. Okay. No session on Saturday, Sunday. Have a nice weekend and see you Monday. Monday's session is most important point. We'll be discussing about auto scaling. Okay. That's extension of load balancer auto scaling. That's our plan for Monday session. Very important topic. Okay. See you tomorrow. Thank you. See you on Monday. Have a nice weekend. Thank you very much. Bye, everybody.